No matter how long you spend designing cool and unique enemies for your video game, you're never going to come up with anything worse than the other players. Because the second you give people the ability to screw each other over in a game, they're going to turn evil quicker than Aidan Gillen in, well, anything he's ever been in. Here are just some of the times when in video games, man was the real monster.
Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only. Backup activated. System rebooted.
In the fiction of The Division, the dark zones are the areas that were most infected with the green poison smallpox virus, and therefore a great place for picking up contaminated beanie hats. To get those beanies out of the dark zone though, you'll need to signal a helicopter, because there's apparently a real helicopter surplus in the post-apocalypse. Here's where you realise that helicopter signals also function very well, as I'm over here with a load of sweet loot signals to any nearby players. Still, it's the dark zone. There's enough loot for everyone. People will be cool, right? No, apparently there is no sweeter loot than that already owned by other players, and so now the Dark Zone is a hellish gauntlet of Warriors-style murder gangs who kill for sport. I mean, it's not that cold. I might just go without a hat.
DayZ drops you, the player, into 250 square kilometers of Eastern Europe and asks you to survive for as long as possible. That's quite the challenge, not because of starvation or dehydration or broken bones, but because every other human player in the entire state of Channell is a cast iron dickhead. Come across another player in DayZ, and if you're lucky, they'll shoot you dead and steal all your gear. If you're unlucky, they'll hunt you for sport. Really? That's f***ed up, DayZ. A quick look at some stats on the DayZ website reveals that there are currently over 150,000 active bandits in the game, all of whom are lying in the long grass just outside of town, waiting for unarmed noobs to wander past. There have also been, wow, over 9.6 million murders to date, or roughly the population of Sweden. That's murdered by other players, by the way, not zombies. Hang on, there are zombies in this game as well. Man, I've really got to survive for longer than 5 minutes one of these days.
If ever there was a game where man is the real monster, it's Dying Light. I'm not even talking about how that bag Rice is busy cutting the hands off his friends. Or how the quote-unquote hero of the game, Carl Crane, is happy to burn an entire airdrop of vital medication because a lady on the radio told him to. Or even just how I get distracted for hours by how funny it is drop-kicking zombies off things. Hey, I'm keeping my morale up. That's important. No, when I say that in Dying Light man is the real monster, it's because man can invade your game during the nighttime in the guise of a terrible monster, specifically a sort of zombie crossed with Spider-Man. Similar to Dark Souls, the player invasion mechanic turns your single player into unexpected multiplayer. The invading volatile's job is to generally mess with the survivors, but also to protect zombie nests full of, I guess, zombie eggs? This fundamentally changes my understanding of how zombies work. Survive the night and you can go back to the day-to-day business of scratching out an existence in the infected city of Farrant. Only now you've used all your ammunition and all your melee weapons are worn out. Feet still work though.
With the inclusion of Grand Theft Auto Online's passive mode, the developer Rockstar probably thought that they'd solved the problem of online jerks once and for all. Passive mode means no one can attack you, so problem solved, yeah? GTA Online will now be a wondrous utopia of friendship and cooperation. You're welcome, this fictional version of Rockstar, I'm imagining, continued to say. Also, Jane is the best one of the Outside Xbox hosts. Hey, not my words, words of fictional Rockstar. Well, as anyone who's ever played GTA Online will tell you, that didn't exactly happen. Instead, all it did was make the online jerks come up with more creative ways to be online jerks. Worst among these have to be the people that park their cars across shop doorways, trapping you inside and giving you two options. Kill yourself so you respawn, or come to terms with the fact that instead of GTA 5, you now own a copy of Inside of a Clothing Store Simulator 2016. If only this were The Division, I'd be set for life.
You're working together, as a team. That means eyes and ears all the time, watching each other's backs. Don't start getting any ideas. You're not smart enough for that.
Fragile Alliance was the name of the multiplayer mode in both Kane and Lynch games. In it, you and a group of other players tackle a heist, aiming to steal as much money as possible while battling AI-controlled cops. The Fragile Alliance of the title comes into play here, as it's possible to get a lot more money by murdering everyone else on your team and taking all their cash for yourself.
He's taking it all. Make sure he doesn't get away alone. You got that one coming, fucking traitor.
So yeah, most of the time it turned out that alliance was pretty damn fragile, with things getting so bad, in my experience, that I'd sometimes have rounds where the entire team had turned on each other before we'd even made it inside the place we were trying to rob. Like if Reservoir Dogs had been 2 minutes long and just opened with them all shooting each other dead in the diner. In an additional wrinkle, dead players respawn as cops and get a bonus for taking down the person who killed them. So now even if you didn't do the betraying, you've got player-controlled furious cops out to murder every heister they lay eyes on. What's the exact opposite of teamwork? Oh yeah, Kane and Lynch, Fragile Alliance.
I've heard all about you. I'm Shiva of the East, captain of the brigade. Let's teach you the clan basics now.
Dark Souls has its fair share of horrifying boss monsters that will shock and disgust you to your very core. There's this dragon who is also an enormous mouth full of teeth. Ew. There's this half-naked lady who is also a giant lava-belching spider. Ew. And there's this adorable doggy who we just want to take home and cuddle forever. Oh. The horrifying thing is we can't take him home and cuddle him forever. But 4-story mouth dragons, gigantic and unnecessarily sexy arachnids, and doggies that I think really just need the love of a good owner have nothing on the 5'11" or so of pain that is an invading Dark Souls player. Anytime that your character is in human form rather than hollowed, you're in danger of being invaded by another player, intent on murdering you for your souls and humanity. And while 90% of Dark Souls is memorizing attack patterns, actual humans are wily and unpredictable. Sorry, I was thinking about that doggy again.
Those are just some of the times when the worst enemy you faced in the game wasn't a zombie or a monster, but a guy called Kevin from Ohio. But while I've still got you here, may I interest you in some other Outside Xbox videos? Don't betray us and be a monster. Watch the videos. See, that's a nice, thank you. That's a nice thing that you can do. So we've got Show of the Week down there. That definitely won't stab you in the back, that playlist. It's exactly what it says. And underneath me is more features like this one, but not this one, but that are like this one. And obviously I'm telling the truth about that as well. I'm not gonna attack you from behind while you're watching them. Why would that thought even enter your head? It's a weird thing to think. So yeah, do that. You'll definitely be safe clicking on either of those links, because I'm trustworthy. Unlike, I mean, I don't want to, Mike, I don't want to name names, but he's over there plotting, I can tell.